Ocala's information station, 1370 WOCA. Ocala.
All right, 25 minutes before 11 o'clock. Thank you for tuning in. We've got a brand new show ready to start right now. Joe Reichel is in the studio. I just met Joe. I think it was for the first time. I don't know.
No, we've met before.
Okay, I thought you looked familiar. I just don't know where. You'll have to remind me. The show is called Damage Control, and Joe is the co-owner of Damage Control Services. The name alone makes us all curious what you do for a living. The phone lines are open if you'd like to call Joe, but give him a chance to explain what he does and what the show's about, and then he'll be taking your calls. The number will be the same as for all of the shows. It's the WOCA Climate Control Source Hotline. That is 622-9622. Joe Reichel, nice to meet you again, apparently.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming in and doing the show.
Well, thanks for having me here. We are a disaster restoration company. We do all sorts of damages and whatever happens to homes and businesses, that's what we take care of. So we are a family company. Like you said, I'm one of the owners of the company. My brother-in-laws are also owners, Mike and Rob.
Yeah.
They are, one was supposed to be here with me today.
Oh, really?
But this morning at about 7 o'clock, we got a phone call of a house that was struck by lightning.
Oh, wow.
Out west Ocala. So they're taking care of that this morning.
Oh, wow.
When disaster strikes, that's when we have to get busy. So
this would be a great TV show.
It probably would be.
I mean, the radio show is good, but I'm sure there's a lot of visual. I'm trying to picture what, like, for example, what happened with the lightning strike. Was there a fire?
Well, it was not a fire. Fire department was called out. It hit a tree next to the house, and then a hole. The reports are a softball-sized hole through the house, wood frame. So
really,
yeah, we're going out there and protecting the home from further damage. If it rains this afternoon, you won't have any rain get in the home, then do all the work with the insurance company in order to get the repairs made.
I got you. Okay.
For the homeowners. So
and we picture right away storms, wind, fire.
That's what we do. Floods, cars in homes.
Cars in homes.
Cars in homes. That happens a lot more than people realize.
Oh, wow.
Car will either, and in businesses too. A lot of times, parking in front of a business, they'll hit the gas instead of the brake, or go off the road and into a home. We've done several of those.
I wonder if the scenario I'm going to tell you about would qualify. My mom and dad made a mistake one time. They had a house. They decided to sell it, and they would hold the mortgage themselves. Big mistake. The people who moved into it literally trashed the place. Of course, they eventually had to kick them out, and all's well that ends well, because we went in and did that damage control. I mean, these people, you wouldn't believe the mess they made. Does that apply?
Well, it does. We've done several of those, bank foreclosures, things like that. A lot of times what we'll do is, in order to take care of those, typically it's insurance related. Is what we work at.
Yeah, and that's what I wondered. So,
but all sorts of disasters can apply. The only disasters really that we don't do, and we've been asked about, is marriages and teenagers. Those are ones that we don't take care of.
Oh, that's too funny. You actually have some show prep here, so I don't want to veer too much from your show prep. Your family business, it says your dad started it?
No, it was my father-in-law. My brother-in-law,
okay.
It's a family business, construction company, started in '72, and that's what we did that up until several years ago when the construction market started declining. And at that point was when we had a turn in the business, and that was because of my father-in-law's mother's home had a tree fall on it.
Oh, wow.
And when this happened, we had built the house, so we knew we were going to rebuild it. But we had never really worked with insurance companies as far as getting an agreed-upon price and bidding it out that way. We'd always, and in the past, had worked with a homeowner. We meet with the homeowner and find out what they want. And, insurance companies are a little bit differently. They work it a little bit differently as far as they give you a price for what your home is worth, and you have to get it built for that. So
yeah, that's a big difference.
And everything's off of a computer program. So whenever we started doing it, we had a friend of ours who was a private adjuster helped us to get a price for the home, for rebuild, doing all of the work to rebuild.
Right.
And at that point, he said, "There's only a few companies that do this. Why don't you do it?" So, we as a small family company looked at each other and said, "Why not?"
Wow.
So that was when we really, kind of made a shift, diversified a little bit. We went to different schooling in order to be able to do this. Fire restoration.
Talking about a niche that needed to be filled. Wow, that's a great idea.
We found a spot in the market that there was a need, and that was where we really stretched for. So there's a few other companies that do it in the area, and they're all good companies. We do all the same type of things. And the neat thing about what we do is whenever there is a disaster, homeowners are in a sad state. They don't really know what to do. They don't know who to call or how to get help. So we do a lot of what we do, is also restoration of the home, but it's also restoration of their lives.
Oh, I like that. Yeah. And does that include like electrical damage? You mentioned the lightning. If all of the appliances got burned out or the wires got burned up, do you fix them, replace them?
Whatever it takes to get the home back into shape is what we do.
Wow.
We have a complete team of people that we work with, other trades as far as electricians, air conditioning, roofers, whatever it takes.
Yeah.
All of the trades in order to take care of it. Some disasters are relatively small, but then again, we've had, for example, a lightning strike that caught a house on fire, and we had to take it all the way down to the block walls in order to rebuild. So
my goodness!
They could be small, or they can be, relatively large too.
Are termites considered part of what you do?
Yes, we have done termite damage. That's a lot of what needs done.
The phone line is open. In fact, somebody's waiting patiently, I hope. And can I just can you entertain a question I have real quick before we go to the phone?
Love to.
And by the way, if you want to call, the number is the WOCA Climate Control Source Hotline is 352 if you're out of the area, and then 622-9622. Your host is Joe Reichel. This is a brand new show, the first show, and he's with the company called Damage Control Services. And this is going to be fun to listen to and to learn from. But I have to ask you this. This is why I'm tuning the TV into this show. The radio. Name one that was like really out of left field. Like, wow, that's wacky. Like, did a bull run into a house or a UFO?
No, the one that really stands out to me is a car that ran off the road and launched itself. A woman driving a car veered off the road and launched into a house out southwest Ocala.
And hit the upper part of the house?
It hit right at the roof line above the windows. Into an elderly couple's bedroom.
Oh my goodness!
Fortunately, they weren't in there. No one was hurt. But that was one where we worked with the homeowners extensively in order to get their home back into shape. But just where the house was, you would never think that a car would ever hit this home. That's the one that comes to my mind right now. We find all kinds of weird things, though.
I had a tree fall between my house and my neighbor's house. A huge tree. Neither one of the houses was hurt at all. The limbs literally scraped the houses, but no damage. However, you know what was in the way? My tool shed. One whole side of the tool shed got taken out.
Well, that's better than the house.
And I have none of your skills. I put a plant in front of it to make it look, so it wasn't so unsightly. All right, let's go to the phone. This is a fun topic. Joe Reichel is your host. Damage Control is the show, and Damage Control Services is his business. The number here right now is 622-9622, and we'll give you Joe's number later on in the show, as well as any other information you'll need to get a hold of him. And I appreciate your patience. Thank you for waiting while we went through the first show, normal stuff. Good morning. You're on the air with Joe Reichel.
Yeah, no problem, Joe. Joe, welcome to the station, and thanks for bringing on this program. It's going to be a very interesting and a wonderful program, and thank you very much for doing so. The question is, do you do anything with sinkhole repair?
Yes.
Oh, good question.
Yeah, good question. Thank you.
Now, the question is, would you come out and there's settlement on one side of the building? I don't think it's a sinkhole, but I think it could be. I'm not sure. Could you come out and take a look and give me an idea of what's going on? It might be just a normal settling.
Yeah, we can come out and take a look at that for you.
Mm-hmm.
I've been on several of these. That's one thing about Florida and where we live.
Yeah.
That does seem to happen, settling as well as sinkholes.
Yeah.
Have
you noticed an increase in sinkhole business?
I really haven't noticed an increase. I mean, there is a lot of it, a lot of them there, and different times of the year as far as with how much rain we get or we don't get, it seems to increase or decrease at different times. But we've had several jobs where we work with homeowners, typically able to help them as far as fixing the exterior of the home and even inside, cracks and
You're capable of working on a situation like that on a large scale. I mean, if it's a serious sinkhole situation.
Yes, we've done larger projects with sinkholes. It's not just us. We've got an entire team of people, other companies that we work with in order to do the underpinning or the grouting, whatever needs done, and then all the repairs to the home. Whatever the flooring. I mean, I'm going actually tomorrow afternoon to a sinkhole job. A lady here in Ocala has a sinkhole. She's worked with her insurance company to get the claim going, and she has wood floor popping up, cracks in her ceiling, cracks in the outside of the home. So
it's rather important to have sinkhole coverage because I can imagine it's not a cheap thing to have fixed if it's serious.
Can be rather costly. Hopefully you just have a settling problem, but those can be costly as well.
Have you ever run across a situation where the sinkhole was so critical that the building could not be saved?
I have not, but I'm sure it happens. We worked on one west of Ocala, and it ended up being settling. But anyone looking at it would have thought it was a sinkhole. Just because of how bad the house was. I mean, you could see, straight through the walls in the garage. But as far as the cracks in the block, but able to work with it and get it repaired. And it there's a lot of work that goes into that. As far as to make it cosmetically look right and to be a sound structure again.
Right. Okay, well, thank you for your program. I'll keep listening, and I'll get your phone number, and we'll get in contact.
Thanks for your call.
You bet. Bye now.
And that would be a good time right now to give out your phone number. What is your line that we can get a hold of you at?
My personal number is 352-817-6574.
Okay.
My email is joe@damageflorida, spelled out, DAMAGEFLORIDA.com. You can contact me on either of those numbers, or one number and email, and I can take care of getting with you, or if whatever questions you might have after the show, or problems that might come up.
Yeah, let me repeat them so I see that I wrote them down correctly. 817-6574.
That's it.
And joe@damageflorida.com.
That's it.
Okay, good. And we do have another phone call. Good morning. Thank you for being patient. You're on the air with Joe Reichel.
This is No Name. No Name has a sinkhole in the bottom of Orange Lake. Can he fix that one?
Yeah.
I can.
Yeah, there's probably no insurance for that one, though, I would think. Yeah, that's an issue. A lot of people want to fix that sinkhole.
That would be a good sinkhole to fix.
Now, when we talk about insurance being necessary in many cases, because the cost might be too high, here's an example. Let's say the tree across the fence, somebody else's yard, falls onto your house. Does your insurance pay for that, or is that guy's insurance?
That would be your insurance would pay for that.
Okay.
And that's one of the things that we're going to be covering, different as we go through the weeks. Next week's show, actually, we are going to talk all about trees.
Oh, really?
That was kind of the plan here. We've got a week of trees, and then we'll talk floods, and then we'll talk fires, and several different things throughout the progress of this show.
And today we were going to talk about your grandma's house?
Well, we were going to talk about Grandma's house.
Tell me a little bit about it.
That was a tree on a house, and it was the neighbor's tree that fell.
Oh, wow.
Grandma, at the time, was 92 years old. The tree fell. She's sitting here, and about 3 feet from her, the limbs were down through the home to the floor.
Oh, wow.
Pouring down rain at the time. Grandma never even really knew what happened because it happened behind her. She gets up and looks out the window because, she heard all the noise.
Yeah.
But anyway, we worked to be able to we moved her out of the home. We were able to take out all of the debris and all of her personal items that she would need in order to live for the next couple weeks, and then worked to dry up the structure, clean everything up, and rebuild. That was quite a project. That was the first first project that we had as a disaster restoration company.
And through your experience, this is the big question everybody always has: which is the stronger house, the block-built home or the wood frame house?
It really depends.
It depends.
It really depends. Both have their advantages. The way the modern building codes are, both homes can be, very, very safe and secure homes. But then again, depending on the disaster that's coming, the way, these hurricanes are. If we get a direct hit with a hurricane, it's always safest to go out, get out of the path of the disaster.
That's it, yeah. Worry about the house later on, right?
Right.
But prepare yourself in advance. I guess insurance is the ultimate preparation, right?
That's what we're going to focus on, with this show. Throughout the different disasters, how to prepare for them, what to do in advance, and then if something like this happens to you, what to do as far as the steps to go through and get your lives of your family back in shape.
Okay. Joe Reichel is here. He's your new host for a new show. The show is called Damage Control. Fascinating topic. He helps people who've had damage to their homes, and he fixes them and figures out a way to pay for it. And his company is called Damage Control Services. And the one thing I should have told you before we went on the air is my little hand signal. It's simply like this. I put my hand to my ear. It means you got a phone call.
Let's take it.
It doesn't mean you need to stop talking. It just means that there's somebody waiting patiently. Let's go to that line now. Good morning. You're on the air with Joe Reichel.
Good morning. Number one, I have a question about you say you use different contractors depending on what has to be done. My biggest concern is you got a lot of people out there that are ready to do this, that, and the other thing, but they may not be knowledgeable or they have enough knowledge to fix the problem correctly. The next thing that comes across my mind is, okay, the house has got a hole in it, we got to fix it, and as you start to fix it, lo and behold, there's other problems that were pre-existing. And to do the job correctly, you have to take care of the existing problems in order to correct the damage. And I'm just curious as to how that happens, and how do you guarantee your work? I don't trust building inspectors. So I'll leave that to you, and I'll hang up and listen to your answer. Thank you.
All right. Tough question right there.
Well, that was kind of a two-part question. Appreciate the call. The first part of that is it's very important to find quality people that you can work with to make sure that they're knowledgeable in the field that you need. And we've got several different companies that we're able to work with in order to do this. We've done extensive schooling in different parts of our field of expertise. I've gone for odor training. I've gone for mold and water restoration, flood restoration. Just different things like that. Fire and smoke. So and that's just me personally. So anyone that works with us needs to be knowledgeable in their skills, in their trades. The second part of that, as far as the pre-existing problems, we have found that. We've gone onto homes that, for example, needed a new roof because a tree had fallen on one part of the roof, and then you find where there's leaks in other parts of the roof, and usually the homeowner will have to pay to get that fixed because the insurance claim will cover one portion of it, the portion we're fixing. But that's just kind of you work with the homeowner in order to take care of whatever it is that needs done. When there is an insurance claim, though, a lot of times things have to be brought up to modern codes, the modern building codes. Depending on the disaster or what it is.
So you're fixing a house that was built before the codes.
Sometimes.
And now you've got to implement the new codes with the old house.
Right.
That didn't happen before.
As far as, we've had homes that in bedrooms have a smaller window and you need to make a bigger window for egress in case of a fire, and they need to climb out the window.
Egress.
Egress, yeah.
Not birds. Egress.
Right.
I thought maybe they were sometimes. You'll understand. I often will be just dopey and silly. So just the way I am.
That's fine.
But this is kind of a cool. And speaking of birds, I actually have a way to incorporate that into here. I'm guessing a lot of times there's an animal issue. Like I had one time a squirrel living in my attic, or maybe more than one. Who knows? Probably more than one. And the way I handled it, I asked. Somebody told me this. Take mothballs and have them, put them in the attic. So
mothballs have been used for that. It's good to use those.
So could it be that simple? Like if I've got a.
It could be. I mean, but if they're getting into the attic, there's probably a hole there that should be closed up somewhere.
Okay.
So.
Okay. Yeah, I had my son actually go up into the attic. In case he's listening, I want him to know I'm giving him credit.
Giving him credit for the damage control. We've had some jobs where. There was a rodent infestation, and the pest company came out and used killed the rodents that were infesting the building. Yeah. But they died in the attic.
No.
And so there was a serious odor that followed that.
Oh,
so,
goodness, that's terrible.
Yeah, that was one of the worst jobs that we were on.
Have you had a wacky call, like a ghost hunter call, like?
Have not.
No, haven't had that, huh?
Have not.
Ghostbuster, I mean.
No, none of those. Yeah, the strangest, like I said, is teenage problems and marriages. Those were.
And what is it? They look up your name, damage control, and
usually it's just a comedy thing. People see it on my shirt.
Oh, I got you.
Oh, damage control. Do you do weddings or marriages? Do you do marriages? So. Haven't just kind of people being funny.
What about the outside, the sidewalks, the patios? Does that ever come into play?
As far as
like if they're damaged, like if let's say, and I saw this the other day on a public sidewalk. It was lifting up. I'm assuming there was a root under it or something.
Probably tree roots. Yeah.
I mean, is that something you might do for a home? Like, let's say I have a sidewalk that leads to my house. We
had a tree that fell next to a driveway, and when it fell, it busted the driveway. So that was needed to be repaired. So we have done things like that.
Yeah.
So I mean, even pouring new slabs or new sidewalks in areas where sinkholes were. So
the question about whether you would come out to check to see if it was a sinkhole, I guess we'll kind of end with this one. So, look how quickly the time went. Wow. I guess I'm really enjoying this one. This sounds like a cool topic. The idea that you could come out and give it, what would it be, an evaluation or?
It would. I mean, I can come and look at whatever disaster or damage a person might have. Typically, what we would do first is a phone conversation, talk about what the situation is, and see if it would be something that would warrant me coming out and taking a look at me or another member of the team, Mike or Rob, taking a look at it. But this is one of those things where really it depends what it is and what's needed done. But a good phone call would be where we would start.
That's your music. Dan just put your music on there for you. That's your theme song right
there.
That's
it.
Wow, it's got words in it. Well, thank you for coming in and doing the show. I'm looking forward to the next one. And you're doing this every week?
Every week.
All right.
Tuesdays at 10:30 right here on The Source.
And before we say goodbye, what is your phone number again?
My phone number is 352-817-6574.
All right. Or you can write to Joe at joe@damageflorida.com. Call us if you need that repeated. We'll be glad to tell you over the phone. Joe Reckel, thank you so much.
Thanks for having me, Larry.
Fun show. Looking forward to the others. We'll take a little break and be right back.
Damage control. Damage control. Damage control. Damage. Damage control. Damage. Damage control. Damage control. Damage. Damage control. Damage. Damage control.
Ocala's information station, 1370 WOCA.
Ocala. The weather is brought to you by myfwc.com. Life jackets save lives. Where in Florida? Clouds and some sunshine today, but there'll also be a couple of showers.